Well, g'day guys, and welcome to another episode of Paul's Garage. This will be part 4 of Project EH, and as seems to be the tradition at the moment with this car, we're going to start by having a look at some of the stuff that's arrived just recently. The other day I got a 12-inch electric fan, which will be just go on as an additional fan. I'm going to leave the standard fan on there, but that'll get hooked up. It'll be thermatically controlled, just for those hot summer days. If ever I get cut short with a bit of heat in the car. Also, when I was pulling the bumper bars apart, I realised the front bumper bar had two left-hand overriders, so they were a little bit offset. So I got onto a fella who got me two right-hand overriders. So what that means is I'll have the correct overriders on the front bumper bar, and I'll also have overriders for the back bumper bar. They're the same overriders. So a lot of the Premier, or I think all the Premiers, had overriders on the back. So now we'll have overriders on the front and back bumpers as well. So this is another package that's just come in from Resto, or Rare Spares, down in Victoria. I know well, I'm hoping it's all in here. It's fairly heavy. Our postie's a lady, so I went and grabbed that out of the car from her as she turned up. I've got that well wrapped. That's it's not POR 15. I've always used POR 15, but this is the I think Australian made equivalent that Resto Country sells. KB something or other. We'll have a look in a minute. So it's silver in colour, because what I want to do is paint the inside of the bumper bars. There's a bit of rust inside those bumper bars. So yeah, KBS, what that stuff's called. So it's the same as the POR 15. So I was happy to use that. Plus my local place doesn't sell it anymore. Top and bottom radiator hoses, which will help me get my cooling system back together, which came with new clamps as well, which is good. Two new rear shocks. The car is currently fitted with air shocks on the back. I'm not a fan, they leak, so we'll replace the shocks with those ones. So they're complete. Also got a set of front shocks. I don't really know what condition the front shocks are in, but I also didn't want to take a chance of spending a whole heap of money and getting the car right and then having to go back and change shock absorbers. So it's a new pair of front shocks to go on, plus what makes this box a bit heavy. Is a new pair of coil springs for the front. Now the reason I got these are lowered by an inch. And the reason why I did that was, if you've taken any notice of the car, it sits awful high at the front. So I thought I'd just get a pair of lowered springs for the front and bung them in, and should bring the front of the car down. I have got some helper springs to go on the back if once I take the air shocks out, if it sits a bit too low, or I may even get those springs reset. So that's everything we've got at the moment for the car to go back together. The first thing I'm going to do is go down and put the first coat of rust preventative paint on the inside of my bumper bars and overriders. So I'll do that first, and then tomorrow I'll start fitting the cooling system back together. First of all, I'll do the second coat of this cooling system back together, rear shocks, and yeah, take it from there. So we'll just head down into the other shed and we'll put some of this KBS rust seal on and see what it's like. I've never used it before. I've always used the POR, but this is I believe it's made in Australia, so better to buy Australian made than American, I guess. Alright, so we'll push on and we'll go and get a bit of, make a bit of a mess down there. I always use these little throwaway brushes. Not much point in washing the brushes out, so they're, a couple of dollars for two of them, and that'll do, Well, that's it for all those bumper bar bits. That's the first coat. I will say, I don't know if I said it earlier, make sure that you wear gloves, because when that stuff dries on you, you basically got to wait for your skin to grow out. I got a little bit on my arm here, but hopefully a little bit of thinners will take that off. You don't really want to be washing your hands in thinners. When you put the lid back on the tin, get a little bit of Glad wrap or plastic or something to put over that, because once the two bits of tin connect together and it dries, you ain't getting that lid back off. It's only half a litre, but the stuff goes a long way. Probably by the time I finish all the brackets and the inside the bumper bars and overriders and all that sort of stuff, there'll be plenty left over for the next job. The brackets, which I've painted with that as well, will be painted black, but that's just putting that underneath it just to protect it a little bit. Well, that's it for now. I will resume most likely in the morning with the cooling system. Get all that organised. As you can probably hear, it's raining here, which is quite nice. So I'll just go and tidy up and catch you blokes tomorrow in the morning. Just fitting the fan on here. There's a bit of a thunderstorm happening outside and my dogs are going nuts, so I'm going to have to go and stop them in a minute. I'll get this in. With a little bit of luck, this will all just go in here nicely, I'm hoping, or not, Not that fan on it there. Maybe.
A little bit of light happening. Just fits. Just fits. If anything, I should have put the radiator a bit, the electric fan a little bit lower on the radiator. I'm just going to put a bit of coolant in this. Yeah, so I'm going to need a little bit more than that. There's the no leaks. Yep. Whoop. Too much. Now. Well, I'm just replacing the thermostat and thermostat housing here. I don't guess you needed to see me put all the bolts in that radiator. Things can get a bit monotonous when you continue to do that. Anyway, I put a bit of Permatex on the gasket on both surfaces. Now that's a new thermostat housing, simply because the other one had a bit of a whoop in it. I tried to file it flat, but it wasn't successful. So for the sake of 30 odd bucks, I got a new one. It's a little bit difficult to put in, especially this bit where you've got the longer bolt, thermostat housing sliding on the Permatex, and trying to put the bracket on as well to hold the fuel line. And I think the other one's a vacuum line, I think. So that all gets tensioned down to 18 volts, as you can see. Yeah, so I got new hoses. I couldn't buy specific EH ones, so I bought HD, which is the next model, but you've got to cut about 2 inches off them. I don't know the difference between the HR or the HD engine bay and placement in the EH. There's obviously a slight difference there. Anyway, they came with new clamps, both top and bottom hose. So yeah, able to get them. Get the clamps lined up for those people who like to have all their screws all nicely in a row. So I'll probably have to take the coolant back out again, because I did notice this has got a heated manifold, but one of the holes into the lower part of the thermostat housing hasn't been drilled out, so the coolant's actually not going through that heated manifold. I meant to do that before I filled it up, however, I forgot to do it, so I'll probably end up pulling that apart and drilling that out. But I'll speak to some people first before I actually do that. It's just hooking the electric fan up. Testing it. So that's about it.
Well, that's it for this episode, guys. Hope you've enjoyed watching these few episodes on the EH. Really only got the cooling system done, plus the bit on the bumper bars in this episode. Next episode we'll be starting on the suspension. Be doing the rear suspension and probably putting those bumper bars back together. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do what you need to do, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.